Did it repeat?
I think I just kind of went on. I went
rogue
and I nailed
earlier.
it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're good at. That's why we're doing it together. We're doing it together. All right, I'm gonna take
We're
on
the best of friends, having so much fun together.
We're actually in a padded room.
Yeah.
They just let us out on our recess time.
But they gave us a bar. Welcome back to the Body by Beer podcast. We are here with our new set, our lovely designed bar, to give more of the bar feel. Can't imagine why. Only makes sense. Now we're not just sitting on our asses talking to you. We're leaning on a bar talking to you.
Forever leaning.
Forever leaning. Got time to lean, you got time to clean.
So true. So true. I still feel that when I go home and there's nobody watching.
Like I should be cleaning something. Mm-hmm. Today's episode is brought to you by Mustard Later. Mustard Later is the craft beer community's marketing, consulting, and influencing hub. So if you're looking to outsource any of your marketing, looking to do some consulting, start up a new brewery, give that a call. We'll put the little link in there for you. Shoot them an email.
Yeah.
Us. It's us.
It's us.
This week's episode is also brought to you by our affiliate partner, the Microbrewed Beer of the Month Club. They drink a lot of bad beer, so you don't have to. They're super proud of their selection. They've archived online with tasting notes of every beer that they've ever featured. It's a really cool program, great way to get some exposure and some like worldwide beers that maybe you wouldn't get otherwise.
Absolutely. Have you received yours yet?
I have not.
I think it comes the end of this month, actually.
Oh, after dry January?
Probably. Right at the end of it.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Well, I was going for more of like the damp January, but not if it's not going to show up in time.
Well, I mean, there's still the store.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I suppose. Go buy my own.
Yeah, fair.
The link to the microbrew beer of the month is going to be at the very bottom of our description. Affiliate link. It's a great way to support us and the channel, and so we can keep getting great content out to you. And you get beer in it, so it's kind of a great double whammy. You support us, you get some beer. Like, there's really no losing. So feel free.
Win-win.
Yeah, click that link. Hit it up.
That's right. Welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody had a happy holiday, happy new year.
Yeah.
Before we start this podcast, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below that you subscribed, and we'll make sure to reply back and then leave a comment on your comment. Right? Comment on comment. You can catch a new episode of the Body by Beer podcast every Wednesday on your favorite podcast listening platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, etc. If you have, what's that? Etc. If you haven't already, please do rate and review the podcast. This really helps us grow and reach a wider audience.
Yes.
All right. So this week, we're tackling a topic that's hot on the social media threads, and that is dry or damp, as you mentioned, damp January. I'm not sure how I feel about the word damp.
It's better than moist.
Moist January. I'm sure that's a thing somewhere.
Sponged.
It's gotta be. Oh, God. Now you've gone too far.
That like middle wet is just not there's no good word for it.
Middle wet.
That's what it is, right? It's middle wet. It's not wet, you're damp.
All right.
Soggy.
Soggy. I don't mind soggy.
Unless it's bread.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah,
So, yeah,
okay. All right. We've already gone down that road. We don't have to go back.
Today's episode, we're going to get into dry and damp January. And if you don't know what damp January, it's a little bit more of like a flexible alternative, not as extreme as the dry January. For those people that are looking more for like a way to moderate their drinking or slow it down a little bit, but you don't have to go full blown cold turkey, gobble. It's more of my style, so I get it. I'm all about the apparently dampness this month.
Right. So you're looking to wring yourself out, let's say. Limit your drinking to maybe... This was interesting, right? So I hadn't actually heard of it, but it makes sense, right? So you're limiting or reducing your drinking either per outing or maybe you're only going to drink during special occasions. Or you're only going to have 2 beers when you go out a night or whatever nights of the week you're going out.
Yeah.
So it's a balanced
It's a
approach
balance,
to
yeah.
sobriety and moderate alcohol consumption. And
good
it
way to
really,
do it.
what's that?
I think it's a good way to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The cord keeps hitting.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
What
Throw it
happened?
over your shoulder.
Over the shoulder.
Other shoulder.
The shoulder.
There you go.
Alrighty, I can do that.
Do your chords hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Do they time and a knock? Any time and a bow? Can you throw it over your shoulder like a cotton-nettled soldier? Do your
Do
chords
yours hang
low?
do you know how I know you have a 1-year-old without saying you have a 1-year-old?
Because I don't know how the words to the song.
I was going to say, because you even thought of singing the song.
Fair. That's fair.
Hard to believe she's 1 already. Congrats.
Thanks.
Yeah, she's pretty cute.
Cute little nugget.
Anyway, dry and damp January. Here we are. Actually, having a Lagunitas IPNA.
Yeah, IPNA. It's actually really good.
Really good, actually.
Yeah. This is by far of the NAs I've had the best one. I think it... And it comes in a bottle. Sometimes I love drinking out of a bottle. It feels more like beer sometimes.
I can't... It's nothing like drinking a cold bottle of beer.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorites. They say it on here, and I can't read it right now because I can't read that tiny print. But it's something about slapping yourself in the face with some hops. And that's exactly what it does. And if you like Lagunitas, it tastes just like a Lagunitas IPA. It's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it's good.
You can tell it's NA, sort of, kind of, but it's very well done.
Yeah, I would give it, like I said, the best one I've had so far. I have not had the Shinerbach Rodeo that we discussed before, which if we'll find it, we'll have it. We'll throw it on the show. It's a good month for it, so we'll be showcasing lots of NA beers. And remember, just even a slight reduction of alcohol can improve your liver and heart health, sleep quality, energy levels, and of course your finances.
The old pocketbook.
The old pocketbook. Where you stock up and then buy a bunch of big beers after. I was just kidding.
That already got brought up. Michelle was like, I have something that we're going to do in February.
Okay.
And we'll make up for all that drinking we didn't do. And I was like,
yes. Perfect. That's the way to do it.
Well, that doesn't work. That's not the point.
Hey, for a month it was.
All right. I guess I'm into it.
Yeah, all about it. We'll continue to progress this conversation as we weave in and out of this episode, but sit tight because we've got our Beer 101 Ale Academy coming in hot for your listening pleasures.
Love the Ale Academy.
Yeah, it's a good one. Been having fun. For Ale Academy people, this is a great chance to check out our affiliate partnership program link at the very bottom of our description again. As we said last episode, it gives you a really great opportunity to test out some really good quality beers. You don't have to be worried about picking out crappy ones, and you get to try it at pretty low friction. It gets delivered right to your door. So take the stress and pressure off of going to like those big alcohol stores where there's hundreds of beers to pick from. Let these people do it for you.
Yeah.
Let them do it.
Take the paralyzed by option
Yeah.
out of it.
It's a great option to learn a little bit and build your confidence up to head on into that brewery. So Liz, how does dry and damp January fit into our 101 for our new beer people? What are you hitting us with today?
Yeah, of course. That's a good question. Really challenges dry or damp January. In my experience, what I read, right, there's actually a lot of articles out there right now, like, is it good for you? Is it not good for you? Are you kind of like when you lose a bunch of weight and then you get off the weight program, then you pack all the pounds back on. That's also possible in the drinking world.
Doing a big binge drink in February.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, well, that was not the point. But anyway, it really thinks about moderation and mindful drinking, right? And it's meant to like carry that through. It's not just about cutting back. It's about that more health conscious approach to enjoying your favorite beverages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. It's a perfect time to explore the world of NAs, as we will be doing this month with you. A lot of breweries that are going to be getting creative with this and offering different opportunities and honestly kind of getting a potential new brewery or new beer on their lineup that they'll have maybe full time.
Which would be really cool.
Super cool.
Really cool. And don't forget about the events, right? Oftentimes you'll see more health and wellness events this month. And then, of course, those extend throughout the year. Yoga or boot camps at the brewery. Anybody?
No.
If you'd leave a comment about it, maybe we would come and join you if you got one in the area. We'd love to come do some yoga or boot camps. So let us know if you come across any one of them.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, sounds like a perfect blend of wellness and beer culture that is exciting to join and talk about.
Right.
For Ale Academy drinkers, let's talk about what styles of drinks to look for, especially at breweries, brew pubs, or tap rooms.
Right. For starters, any beers, they're a huge hit, right? You look on any of the shelves right now, they're getting more and more and more, depending on what store you're at. You can find NA IPAs, like we're having today. There's Pilsners, there's lagers, even Guinness has a NA that I really tried to find. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
So there's like a gambit of flavors out there that mimic the flavors of their alcoholic counterparts.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I also like I think we have like a hop water here locally as well. I think I'm a fan of that one.
Yeah. And I think we'll get into that too.
I'm sure. For those doing more of like the damp January, low ABV beers such as like Sessions, which is going to be anything under 5%. A lot of times they tend to be more like IPAs, but they don't have to be. Technically, any beer that's under 5% is considered a session beer, and it's meant so you can have multiple sessions of it. Now, obviously, if you're just jumping on that train, you're probably not lowering your drinking too much for your dampness of the month, but...
January.
I love a good session. Any session beer, especially IPAs. But there's going to be... Oh, where's our list? We have a list of our top 15.
Oh, the cocktail beers. I would just put it in the comments so they could check them out.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
there's different ones.
Yeah, so it's a great way to have a cocktail with lower alcohol because you're doing it with beer instead of liqueur.
Right.
So it's a good way to reduce that.
Exactly. It also kind of makes it a larger drink too, right? More volume, maybe slows you down a little bit, depending.
And how much you want those bubbles that day.
That's right. Right, yeah. Oh, I love a good bubble, man. But also look for craft sodas out there. Those are a great option. They're flavorful, obviously non-alcoholic, and some breweries are even producing their own. Look for their versions of spruce or root beers out there.
Oh, yeah. I get those root beers. Terrible on your lines, but they're great to drink.
Yeah, just have a different line.
It just stays that forever.
Exactly.
And then, as we brought up, sparkling waters. Big fan of those. They're kind of like a tea, like a sparkling tea where they just infuse with hops. Generally, I feel like if you're not necessarily on the hoppy side of things, those aren't going to be your best option. Most of them tend to be pretty hop forward.
Hence the name.
Yeah, hence the name. So hit or miss on those. If you're into hops, they're a great alternative. And even less sugar, right? Because it's literally just carbonated water with hops.
Yeah, there's a couple other ones I come across too. Hop Water and Lagunitas, again, came out with their more seltzer flavors. A little less hoppy. They're like lime, mango, blood orange. Tastes like a seltzer.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I also feel like those are good. I don't know if anyone out there kind of got into the mid-afternoon beer, especially with COVID, or if you work at a brewery, it's easy to at 3:00 be like, let's just have a beer, a half beer or something.
Yeah.
Those are great times to substitute in the NAs or the hop water. Just it's a really low friction, right? You're still getting those bubbles, you're still getting that kind of taste.
Yep.
And you're not taking away from your nightlife, or you don't have to worry about the pressure of having an NA beer or trying to find one.
Right.
It's like a good afternoon refresher.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great advice. And another thing you can look for, some breweries also might have a unique herbal or botanical brews, focusing on the flavor. I think I saw that Denver Beer Co. has quite the option available right now for anybody who's listening in the Denver area.
I have to go check that out. I did not see that part.
Oh my gosh. You get in there and you're like, wow, there's so many NA options available. It's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like a new, not necessarily new, but maybe new for you, a different little segment of craft beverages, which is nice to dabble in. If you love craft beer for the craft and for the arts and trying new flavors, it's a great way to stay engaged in enjoying that same aspects. Doesn't have to have alcohol in it.
Exactly. It's you. Oh,
I just did it.
Oh, that was it. Oh my god, it was such a good ad lib.
Thank you.
Shoot. Just gonna go into the encouragement section. The old smack on the ass good game. for all you listeners out there, especially for the Ale Academy specific listeners. Ask your local breweries, your favorite breweries, if they're having any special releases or events this month. Keep an open mind, of course, and try different styles of NA or low ABV beverages. Yep. Like I said, there's a gambit of styles and flavors, and it's awesome. It's really cool. And I think you crushed it with the community aspect, right? The craft and community, like it just progresses even further. Rolling, it's all same, just because they're taking the booze out. Yeah. You're really just enjoying the art of it. Just enjoying the art of it.
Yeah. I know I dabbled in some of like the NA liquors, like whiskeys and whatnot. There's a mezcal one that was actually pretty good. Yeah. None of them are great like sippers. I wouldn't recommend that way, but especially like the mezcal one, I felt like was great in like a mixed drink because it gave you that same kind of smoky flavor. Sure. So those are good options if you want to go down that route as well. So they're not bad. Again, they're not. If you're just like a whiskey on the rocks or whiskey straight, they are not good for that.
You're not gonna hit your flavor points. No, there's too much sugar.
Yeah. And I did find like a rosé, like a bubbly rosé.
Yeah, the rosé was
pretty good. The red was not. I was like, cool. So I spent $30 on a bottle of Welch's grape juice.
Right. That's oh my God, almost verbatim. I just talked to my mom, and she, on the dry January train, and she bought a bottle of red, and she was like, this is shit. It tastes like I overpaid for a bottle of Welch's grape juice. But and she's a cab drinker, right? So she likes that real
I don't know
strong.
How you get close to it. Yeah.
How do you replicate that flavor? I
know the margins would be here. I was actually talking to Kevin about it. I was like, why don't we start up like an NA booze truck and go to the festivals, and it's just grape juice.
Oh, grape juice and bubble water. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should probably look at that.
Yeah, we can infuse our own with our own hops.
Actually, I was going to talk to you about growing hops this year. Oh, but that's a distraction.
Poisonous for dogs.
Never mind. We can do it at my house.
Just has to be somewhere where the dogs can't get to them. They don't usually eat them because they're really bitter, but if they do, they are poisonous. So keep that in mind.
All right, I still want to look into that. That was a total distraction, but thank you.
Well, welcome to our days.
It's amazing we even made it here today, people.
Truly, we got a bar now.
I know. I don't even know how you guys pulled this off.
I don't either.
There's some pretty impressive time-lapse videos out there.
I'll piece those together and put them in for us because it'll be cool.
That'd be cool. At least some still shots of the bar. We got to get the front. The front's
I agree.
Really good.
It'll be part of our new trailer with the little camera.
You could just fly the drone down here.
Oh yeah, what could go wrong? Oh, I told you I watched the Globes and they did like an intro. And they went down, like, the whole red carpet, and it was funny watching people, like, talk, and then they'd be like, oh, God! And everyone was just scrambling away from this drone. It was awful.
Why did they scramble?
Because they'd get out of the way of the drone flying through.
Oh, all right.
And so people would just be like, oh, hey.
I mean, it's a flying object. Should be able to take flight and get it out of the way of itself.
You would think. It was very long. They did, like, from the street through everything, and it was just people dodging it. It was hilarious.
All right.
Would recommend watching if you want to laugh at people dodging a drone.
I guess kind of now I do.
Yeah, it was good. Anyways, that is what we got for our 101. Check out some of the NA options. Lots of good things, and keep supporting your local communities and craft breweries. And with that, we shall dive right in to brew news. The brew news, dedicated to bring you the latest in craft beer news, focusing on local highlights, industry-wide trends. We handpicked these topics from the most buzz-worthy articles of the past week, ensuring you stay informed of what's happening. And I'm really excited this week. I think they're really good ones this week. I mean, I think we say that a lot, but I really like them.
I have to thank you for kind of really taking this over.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So this one's fun and not, but a boozy banana drink in Uganda is under threat as authorities restrict home brewers. So like I said, kind of cool, kind of not cool. Yeah. So Tonto is a traditional Uganda banana brew. It's under threat due to modern challenges. So it's made from ripened bananas, sorghum, and Fermentation is part of their cultural heritage, and it's enjoyed, obviously, in various social settings. Makes sense. So, but however, the rise of bottled beer, potential criminalization of home brewing, and a shift to more profitable banana cultivars threatens its production.
Yeah.
So the process is led by farmers. It's becoming more challenging due to those increased costs, reduced availability of specific bananas, right? But despite these obstacles, Tonto remains a cherished drink among the locals.
Yeah. I also, they talked about being a little bit lower alcohol.
Yeah.
So it's going to have a hard time competing, I'm sure, price-wise with stuff that has higher alcohol and the convenience of it. Yeah. It is sad, right? It's sad to see something traditional kind of starting to putter away. But what I liked about it was, I just never heard of like a banana alcoholic drink.
I've heard of a dirty banana, which is just bananas and rum.
Oh,
which is delicious.
Which is delicious. There you go.
Very filling.
So it was an interesting drink, and I do feel like when things like this happen, what's cool about the community is a lot of times breweries will rally and recreate them.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe we can get maybe you'll get like a bit of like more traditional, less traditional versions of it. But who knows? Like, it was a pretty interesting brewing process. It was very different than...
It is kind of also cool to think from like a tourist perspective. If you go, that's like what you're hunting to go find. Yeah. So it's almost like a treasure hunt, right? Like that's your treasure at the end of it. And because it's not so mass produced, it's not so easy to get as whatever, like water off a shelf. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see it like a couple
different
brewers and farmers surviving on it, and it becomes very like prestige, and that's always fun to kind of be prestige. It's always fun to be part of stuff like that, and would try. So if you're heading to Uganda, would let us know how it is. Check it out. Try it out. Banana. What's it called again?
Tonto.
Banana Tonto.
Yum.
Right? Banana Tonto. Would be a good shirt. Banana Tonto.
Is it a charging banana? That's
probably.
What I see.
Ooh, yeah, probably.
Tonto, right?
Yeah. Banana Tonto.
Yeah.
All right. West Bank brewmaster hoping to keep her business bubbling along.
Mm-hmm. This is a hard one as well, but a good one. Hard, but good.
Yeah. So this is over out of Palestine. Mandy's, you gotta say that last name?
Kuri?
I think
it's Mediz.
Oh, Mediz, that probably makes there's no N in there, so that makes sense. The 37-year-old Palestinian woman who is pioneering in the male-dominated field of the brewing industry. No surprise, this is kind of a worldwide trend that hopefully we can start.
I think we're doing pretty good.
Turning the tables, tipping the tides, whatever you want to say. She's working at overcoming cultural barriers, gender norms. She's making a mark in the field where women participation is rare overall. While the number of working women has increased across the West Bank in Gaza in the past decades, figures have shown that nearly 82% of Palestinian women remain outside of the labor force, compared with 30% of men. So, her goal is to keep this going. If I remember, because it was her and like her family that started this, right?
Yeah, it kind of gets into it. Her dad used to brew beer in his dorm room here in the States, and then liked it so much, took it back. Yeah,
cool.
So she picked it up from him.
Nice, that's super cool.
Yeah, really cool story.
So she's kind of an inspiration, breaking stereotypes, and of course, as we all know, there's war happening right now over in the Gaza area, and despite setbacks, they're being resilient. They're trying to power through. They're having export issues. They were part of the attacks that happened on October 7th, but they're holding strong. They didn't leave. They have family roots in Gaza, and she feels both grief and fear, but stays hopeful for a peaceful future. The brewery, started by her father and uncle in 1994, symbolizes not just quality beer, but also a liberal image of Palestine. From small batches brewed in the dorm room to a family enterprise exporting to 18 countries.
Wow, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Journey between various brewery roles to management reflects her dedication to investing in Palestine's state and economy.
Right. So Madi, she has a really interesting story, right? Not only is she in like this male-dominated industry, whatever, that is what it is, and she has this huge passion for it. Obviously, they're doing really well if they were already exporting to 18 countries. This is, we did say, news from this week. This article is a little older. It's like 3 weeks. So, which means it's probably like 2 months out, right? Like, hopefully they're doing well. Things have definitely got a lot more interesting and scary in that area over the last few months. But anyway, so it's an interesting story, and not only the gender role and just building a brewery over there now, and now you got war on top of that, so you can't import, you can't export, so you're not getting all the ingredients you need, you can't get your product out. So hopefully they're doing well. It would be interesting to see an update on this. I'm sure we could look it up and see how she's doing, but it's a pretty big story. Yeah.
And interesting. I mean, I guess I didn't really think about what the brewery scene was over in that area. And
not very much, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty unique.
Taybeh Brewing?
Yeah,
brewery?
I think so. Taybeh, yeah.
Taybeh Brewery in Palestine. Hopefully they're doing well. Hopefully they're still kicking. I would imagine if they're really dedicated to keeping it going, they're just going to end up going with locally sourced ingredients and probably have a limited menu and keep plugging through, and it'll be great. Maybe we can order something in from them. I don't know.
Doink. Yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, great story. A lot of resilience there, and if they can pull through, they're going to be probably one of not a ton of businesses from that area. But
yeah, true. Yeah. Good luck to them. All right, I'm going to try and spit this next one out. This is from the Treehouse Brewery, folks, and it was actually a YouTube video. We'll have the link to that as well for you to check it out on your own. And basically, they're just talking about some promising hops. There's 3 of them that I think is Nate. Yeah,
I heard they put extra hops in their recipe. Hops. I don't even think that was on purpose, and it was like perfect.
I didn't even realize I did it until you were. I was like, what did she say? Oh, I said that. Hops. All right. So they talk about 3 of them. They are HBC 1109 or 1019 Allura. And then the 30-plus-year-old hop, known as Cascade, not necessarily new, but it's a very unique hop, and that's the point of this, and we'll get into that. But the 1019, he talks about, is used in Treehouse's Doomfire beer. And this one is like tropical fruit flavors without those harsh edges. And it's the harsh edges he talked about that makes it so unique to him. And then the Allura stands out for its intense peach aroma. Cool. I was like, I'm into that.
Yeah,
I want to
100%.
try that. Yeah. It's been trialed in small amounts there, but they haven't done any big batches yet.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm also burping.
It's a very burpy beer.
A lot of bubbles. It's good stuff. And then the Cascade. All right. A lot of us, unless you're in 101, are familiar with this. But if you're not, it's well known. It's been around for a while. It exhibits these unique characteristics based on its growing region. So from white wine notes in New Zealand to distinct flavors in other regions. So basically what it is it's a really good chameleon is basically what they get into. Okay. So depending whether it's growing in New Zealand, Southern Australia, the Pacific Northwest, wherever you might be, it's going to adapt to those environments and give off different signature flavor profiles.
It's a good thing to kind of keep a note if you just see Cascade hops might be very different. That'd actually be a really fun hop water. That'd have been yeah.
I was like, I don't know if there is one.
I think they have a Cascade, but I think it's more of the standard. Where it's from, to just an array of the different ones.
Yeah. The reason why and that's a good point. We should look into that. But the reason why we decided to go with this one is because Treehouse it's a great YouTube channel. If you've got a moment, check it out. Nate does a good job of, he's a great storyteller, so fun to listen to. So they're super committed to sharing and inspiring innovation in the craft beer ever-evolving landscape. So, you know what? We just kind of wanted to join them on that and talk about this article. Maybe get on their radar a little bit, or not, and that's okay too. But
or not.
Just throwing kudos where we think kudos should be thrown.
Yeah, I think definitely deserved. Well-deserved kudos. I feel like you don't stumble across new hops. It's been a bit.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think of the last new hops.
These are some new promising ones.
I kind of want to say it was Cascade. No, I feel like there's something in the mid 2000s.
I think the 1109 here is out of last year. He talks about in a video after that. There's a place here in Colorado, a new hop farm, newer, over on the western slope. I can't remember the name, but
that makes sense.
Anyway,
it's where all the grapes and fruits are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
So, excited for that. Actually, just excited to go down this hop journey a little bit further. We kind of talked about that a little bit on the last episode. Just not whether you are or you're not into the science of it all. I definitely, for myself, I appreciate those intricacies, diving into that more, I guess, molecular level, right? Not too far, because I have the memory of a goldfish and the attention span of a butterfly. So it's a little bit harder for me. Again, surprised we made it here today, but we're happy to be here.
You flutter along lovely. Oh. You little butterfly, you.
All right, that's going to do it for the brew news today. We hope you enjoyed. And remember, please drop any links or articles in the comments that you're interested in, that you want us to talk about, or you want to talk about with us. Anyway, we'd love to discuss them with you.
Yeah, those are good stories. I thought we
really nailed you for finding those.
Some unique ones. You wrote them up nice, though.
Thank you.
Now it's time for our Hoptimistic Inquiries. Sticking with the trend, we like to keep things slightly consistent where we can. Over the last couple of weeks, newcomers and aficionados beers let's see what they had some questions.
Yeah, so for our newcomers to beer, when we're talking about dry and damp January, people want to know, are there health benefits to NA beers? Yeah. Well, obviously there's going to be lower calorie content. Not that much, actually, only 20, 30-ish.
Calories or percent?
Calories. Oh. This one's 80. Looked it up on the interwebs. But if you think about your Mick Ultras or your Coors Lights, those are 95 to 100 calories. But it's there, right? It's still a difference. Anyway,
but to mimic the IPA probably is quite a bit more calories than the Mick Ultras. So.
Yeah, so if you're trying any different NA options, all the information's out there, but generally calorie content's going to be lower. Hydration is another thing. So without alcohol, NA beers are more hydrating. Yep. Also, don't forget water. You can drink these all you want, but water is still the most beautiful thing.
Water's king.
Water is king. And then lower risk, right? NAs eliminate the risks associated with alcohol consumption, which can include impaired judgment or potential addiction.
But not beer goggles. So you're fine either way.
That's just a choice, people.
That's just a choice. Remember, just an impaired choice.
Twos and pirates are choices.
So we had some people asking a lot, actually quite a bit out there. It's what are some good NAs either to bring into your bar or brewery, ones to recommend, or where to go out and get them from different stores. So our recommendation on that would be, especially if you're going out on your own, but find styles that you like, or if you are a brewery or an establishment, what are your top selling beers? If your top selling beers are IPAs, then go get some IPA NAs.
Absolutely. That makes a ton of sense.
Makes a ton of sense. And honestly, you might realize that it's a decent seller. I mean, I was at a brewery that we were both at the same brewery that the NAs were actually pretty popular. I kept them on year round, and lots of people like to bike up, and they do one beer, one NA, and call it a day and boogie out. So you might find out they're more popular than you think.
Yeah. For sure.
Online reviews can be a great resource to find different NA options as well. We've got a link included in our description. It's a little NA beer finder map.
So cool.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
And then you can also use Untapped. They have reviews on NA beers as well.
Yeah. A bit of a rabbit hole, but definitely worth it.
Yeah. You can ask for samples or tasting flights, maybe. Usually they tend to come in cans. They're not usually on tap. So that one could be a little bit tough. But if they do, sometimes they have them open in the back. I know there'd be times that, like, we would crack them open and because people especially when we got a new flavor in. That way you can get some people trying them. And if you're an establishment, take note of that. Like, no one's going to buy it if they don't know how it tastes. And you might lose some cans, but, like, again, you have your people sitting at your bar that are going to be the biggest advocates for what you're doing. And if someone comes up, asks about NA, and they've tried it, they're probably going to be the people that are like, actually, the hazy's super good, or whatever. And, like, jumped on those notes. And I think,
good advice.
I would say, like, athletic is probably the biggest one. That was the easiest one to get in. Lots of varieties, lots of options. They do seasonals, which was really nice. So you're able to kind of keep it rotating throughout the seasons, and that was fantastic.
For sure.
And the dark one was actually pretty good. I think the stout was probably my favorite one of theirs.
Oh, that was my least favorite.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't like the honey wheat. It was too sweet for me.
I don't know if I got into that one, but that's all right. Lots of options.
Lots of options.
The point to take away: don't be afraid to ask. Right. So this one is more for our beer enthusiasts or aficionados. So what generally has been brought up or what gets talked about is how does the brewing process of the NA beers differ? Now, not a brewer, not claiming to be, but there's a lot of information out there, right? So this is a lot of the stuff that we've come up with off of the websites that are offering, NA options. So the traditional brewing techniques, so NA beers are often brewed just like regular beers. Okay. So they have alcohol in them. So then what do? They remove it. So through methods like vacuum distillation or reverse osmosis. Oh. So it gently extracts the alcohol. Interesting. Makes sense. And the idea is to retain the flavor. Again, didn't know that, looked it up, super cool, would love to talk about it. Yeah. What also was really fun is there are special yeasts and techniques associated with that. So some brewers use these yeast strains or techniques that produce very little alcohol from the start. Okay. So then probably there's less of that reverse osmosis going on, I guess. So special yeast strains there was a lot of fancy names. I was like, what's the layman terms for these names? And it's low alcohol yeast. You can look up the full name if you want. And or non-alcohol yeast. So unlike the common brewer's yeast, right? So low alcohol, no alcohol, or brewer's yeast versus ale yeast.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right? And basically what it is these yeasts are just less efficient at converting sugars into alcohol.
That's what I was going to guess. So I was like,
makes perfect sense, right?
That way they have less to extract from the reverse osmosis.
Yeah. Osmosis.
Osmosis
Jones.
Yes. What did I do?
Yeah, right. And then the techniques. So special techniques can be a controlled fermentation process where the brewing conditions are just adjusted. So such as the temperature and the time to do it. Yeah. So that limits the yeast alcohol production. So less sugar consumption, right? Right? It's eating it up. We're not going to get into that. We don't want to spoil it. But so yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's what I got for that.
Cool. I think another thing that's, and I don't think we're going to totally get into it, so we're going to just like do a little segue, is to remember that as an establishment, usually you have to still be 21 to buy an NA beer.
Yes, I was carded for this.
Yeah.
You do have to be 21.
Which is kind of funny because it has the same amount of alcohol, which is under 0.05, as like 0.5 as kombucha. Yeah. And I think when I was like looking stuff up, that bread has like a higher percentage of alcohol in it because it also has yeast, which is kind of a funny concept. I'm sure it's just that slippery slope of, I guess I didn't look at the packaging well enough. I thought it said NA on the packaging, and so I didn't have to card them right. I'm sure it's just a marketing brand thing, like just staying consistent. Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed is like you don't want like a 12-year-old walking out with some Lagunitas like, oh, it's NA, you know. It's cute for your family photos. It's not
It's not cute in the wild.
It's not cute in the wild. Yeah, spring.
Oh my God, excuse me.
Yeah, that's terrible. I heard it from all the way over here.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. So yeah, remember that if you get it, make sure that your crew is well informed and trained to still be carding people for it. All right. As a lover of craft beer, you can still appreciate the beer craftsmanship of NA beers.
I think you kind of got into this earlier.
Yeah, the complexity and variety of many NA beers now showcase the complexity and variety that mirror their alcoholic counterparts. Craft brewers are experimenting with hops, malt balances, brewing techniques to enrich the flavor profile.
That's right.
Because they have drastically improved.
This is so good.
Yeah. The challenge in maintaining flavor without alcohol has led to innovative brewing practices, something that beer lovers around can appreciate as a new frontier in the craft beer world.
I love going into the new frontier since we
Yeah.
can't actually physically do that anymore these days, but
Yeah.
kind of, sort of. Anyway.
I think there's a
won't go
frontier brewing around the corner we can go to. That's good. So as you get for wearing a hat.
there.
Yeah, but is it the trash hat?
It is.
Nice. These hats are really cool. We'll
Made of trash.
yeah, they're actually made of trash.
It's really comfortable, too. I have a stocking hat over the top of it, though, because it's cold out.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great.
And
great
it's
hat.
cold down here.
And you put patches on them. Super cool company. They're out of Indonesia. Tapuka or something, I think is the name of the company.
The only Puka I know is Puka Nakua, and he just had a bunch of records broke yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway.
Yeah, cool hat. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, like I said, we talked about it before, you don't have to leave the craft space. You can still support, you can still experiment, you can still try things. And if anything, like, it'll be good to have more NA options available. So supporting that is only going to help reinforce that for the brewers and breweries to make. So I would say, if anything,
would love to see
extra
more of them.
support it.
Yeah, would love
Have
to
more.
see more of the NAs around year round,
Yep.
right? And some of them are getting to that, right? Obviously, your bigger name, but to have it on tap, how cool is that?
Yeah, super cool. All right, well, that wraps up our Hoptimistic inquiries. We love hearing from you, new beer drinkers, aficionados, all are welcome. We like to hear what you guys talking about, what you're thinking about, what's going on in the world.
What are you talking about, stupido?
What's so wrong with you, stupido?
There you go.
What's so wrong with you, stupido? All right, we'll get to our main segment here.
Welcome to the main segment.
Welcome to the main segment. We're going to kind of go into what the difference is between dry, damp, and wet January.
However you are spending your January.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
We're here for you, you know? It's really cool to see all the different stuff's coming out and breweries that are supporting this. And at the same time, it's keeping their lights on too, right? They have more things to offer and really embrace this. I don't even want to call it a trend. I just think it's a new demand for people that want healthier alternatives.
New frontier.
The new frontier.
And not even new, right? Like, and we'll get into that in our fun facts, but I think it's just that adaptation. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is evolving adaptation.
People
and you
want
still
it,
get to go and hang out at the pub or wherever, the brew.
Yeah, the social
brewery.
aspect, which is so nice.
It's great.
And half the time, I feel like you just want a drink in your hand while you're out socializing. It doesn't, at least for me, it doesn't have to be alcohol. It's just,
No.
I want something that has flavor, and I want something in my hand.
Yep, something different. Something
Otherwise,
out
I
of the
talk
norm.
too much with my hands, and then I fling over everyone else's drink.
Also, sometimes that just happens anyway.
It does happen.
All right. Yeah, so it's not about breweries not just jumping on the bandwagon, right? They are brewing it.
Yep.
We're talking about that, where they're really getting involved, and it's super awesome. They've started producing their own, and it's not just the simple light ones, right? We're talking about the NA, the IPAs, the stouts,
Yep.
of course, ales, right?
Yep. The variety is key, and it's
Totally.
not just about the
Having
beers.
those flavors.
You have different flavors available for people, and I think that will lead into more opportunities for like flights, like you talked about. When there are more opportunities for variety available, but yeah, it's gonna be creating a non-alcoholic buzz around the brewing scene, and I don't think it's gonna stop in January. I don't think it's a trend. I do think this is very much so a a growing segment. It's not trending. I think more breweries are going to have to jump on top of it or bring in options, and that leaves room for growth.
Right. Right. And it's not just the beers, right? There's plenty of mocktail menus out there that are another big hit. Those are our sophisticated pinkies up non-alcoholic cocktails. Yeah. They are expanding options. Again, not a new thing, but a really cool thing. And you can find that in a lot of places out there. Probably at your local favorite restaurants. I tell you what, like, if you got a full bar back there, you can come up with the mocktail. Even if you got a half bar, right? You got a gun and a lime. Look at that. I got a soda and a lime. I got my mocktail.
Yeah, basically.
or whatever, right? Like, splash a crayon. Call
Give
it
it
good.
a little shake, a little stir.
Yeah, presentation is key. Yeah. I love that. That's a great point.
Yeah, I think it does have to have a good presentation. It kind of needs to go through the motions. Again, it just makes it feel and seem a little bit more real, more craft, not just a soda water with some lime. You gotta spruce it up a little bit. And
I mean, we leave the house for a different experience.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, yeah.
Right? And we're not just going out for the same thing that we can pull out of the fridge or pour our own water from the tap or from our filter. Yeah. It's about the experience, right?
Experience. So you got to give the experience.
Entertain me. Dance, monkey, dance.
Exactly. So you make it entertaining just like you would anything else. Get your crew excited about the NAs or get them excited about making mocktails or beer cocktails. Because again, that's going to be fitting more into like the damp January. Like it's lower alcohol. You don't have to stop drinking necessarily, but there has to be the excitement around it and the craft and the enjoyment and exactly what you're saying, the entertainment, the presentation. I left my house for this. If I'm just going to go out and drink water, why would I leave my house to go drink water? Right? Like,
yeah. I put on pants today to come outside.
I have a skirt on.
Like we could all just relive COVID over and over and over again, but I don't think anybody really wants to do that. And some people didn't even do it in the first place. You know why? Because we naturally want to get out.
It's true.
And so you want something different, right? Anyway, so this is different. So it's a really cool evolving adaptation of the industry. I think it's super positive. Yeah. I can't wait to see it really like grab on and take hold.
Yeah, I think exactly what you're saying. I think the entertainment is going to be key for the success and getting people excited about it and keeping it going.
For sure.
I remember I watched a thing that they'd had like a water bar, and it was basically you got to try the different like
infused.
Some of them were infused, but it was kind of different styles, like not just like bubble or flat, but like this one has like an acid level of this, and this one has this type of chemicals and this type of minerals in it, and so it was like a flight of water. And I was like, I would totally do that. Just because I don't know I know like when you travel, you have water that's not as good at other places. But in general, to try it side by side and like start understanding the palate of it, like, I don't care if it's water, if it's beer, if it's wine, like that's what I like and that's what I enjoy out of it. And so it's discovering something new and having the side by side comparison. Good point. So it can be anything.
It's fun.
So it doesn't
truly anything.
Like getting the weight off of alcohol and having an entire generation coming up that's not huge drinkers, like. Gotta figure out how to spruce it up and make it fun. It's not a trend. It's going. It's happening.
It's on fire.
What's a toro? Torto? It's
the Tonto?
It's Tatanto.
I don't think it's Tatanto.
What did you say?
Tonto?
Oh no stutter.
I mean, I might have stuttered.
No, but... I stuttered Tatanto. There it is. You were saying it's just Tonto. Yeah. I stuttered with it. Tatanto.
Tatanto.
More fun. Anyways, full bore ahead.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what can breweries, if they aren't already, on this bandwagon? We know that they're not, right? Like they're very well aware of it. Like what are some things they can do to support it?
Yeah, I think everything we just got done talking about. I think making an art out of it, getting your crew and everyone excited, making the presentation beautiful. Having variety.
What about like educational events?
Yeah, I mean educational events make sense. Teaching people why reducing alcohol can be good. I think it's kind of like a hard balance though. It's hard to be like a brewery and be like, this is why you shouldn't drink alcohol. So it's kind of coming up with I think like lesser, like, hey, we would love to help kind of counterbalance. And we were in Munich that you can get NA beers in Munich at Oktoberfest. And so they're widely available, and we have a friend that he goes all the time and he does one beer and one NA and one beer and one NA because he wants to be there for the social aspect. And so again, it doesn't necessarily have to be about the alcohol, so you can start educating people around. Be here, see the craft. This is why this is still fun. This is why this is still entertaining.
I would like to see some reverse osmosis.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
If you were providing tours on that.
Yeah. Like what other things would you like to see?
Yeah. I like the collaborations with health and wellness brands that can really amplify their reach. It goes kind of hand in hand. You know, we talked about yoga and boot camps that you can do, and they're taking place, they're out there, they're happening. This is nothing new. You can look it up. It's happening. Yep. It's just maybe do it more often as well, right? That's the point. That's the collaboration. And it's a great weekend experience, right? It's like load up the kid or load up the dogs. Go sit over there. I'm going to go stretch, and then we're going to drink a beer, have some delicious food, go home. We got out of the house, right? We did something different. Yep. I love that, right? So you're getting that social aspect. You're getting that entertainment piece. And maybe you're not wasted at noon that day, or maybe you brought in less calories, or whatever it is. Or.
Yeah. I like that. I think the consistency is very much key. We talked about that in a different episode, where it's like we need that consistency of as an establishment offering out different wellness type of things. If you're doing it once a month, it's just probably not going to do well.
Yeah.
People need that habit, right?
Yeah, and it's a community engagement, right? You're consistently engaging, and this is what we're doing, right? It happens every month. We want to get you out here. We want to get you moving. We want to see your face, right? Yeah. Get out,
build it up.
That's right.
You can also throw out low-calorie, gluten-free options are also a good way to kind of keep things a little bit healthier, a little bit leaner. If you're out on the damp side, doing a lighter beer versus like that big pastry stout will also achieve less alcohol and less calories for you and less sugar. So again, you don't have to stop drinking. Just make some potential different choices. You could look for a session stout. Those exist. That'll lower your alcohol intake as well. So there's lots of options.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And there are things that sustain throughout the year, right? Again, consistency. They have longevity. It's not just, they're not seasonal. Yeah. You could treat it seasonally, but I think there's enough legs for them that go throughout the entire year. Yeah. The longevity is definitely there.
I agree.
So yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I think wherever you want to take it. I think it's just a support. Would love to see the brewing aspect of it. I love the events that you can host with it. I love the continuity. Yeah. Supporting maybe just a healthier environment, right? Depending on what your definition is. That
could be mental.
Yeah.
Right? Like getting the mental, like almost kind of like stigma away from NAs of like, ooh, why aren't you drinking, right? Or if you have a friend that is deciding not to drink, like don't be like, oh man, why aren't you drinking? Or oh, you must be pregnant. Like, I think it's getting in what needs to happen is and what part of why it's a bit more. I don't want to call it trending, but trending right now is I think some of that stigma is leaving. Mm-hmm. And I think 100%. You're going to see more bars that are just like purely NA opening up. I think you're going to see more breweries with NA options. And all of those things are going to allow people that don't necessarily want to have a bunch of alcohol still go out, still be social. Just like, I hate when you hear people being like, oh, well, if you don't want to drink, then don't go out to the bar. It's like, yeah, but there's a whole other aspect about going out that isn't just about... Pool. Exactly. Darts, go watch bowling. Sports. Yeah, watch
sports, exactly.
Hang out and talk, get out of the house. Like, it doesn't have to be about alcohol. And I think those type of narratives are what are changing and becoming more open and becoming more welcoming. And as that keeps happening, we're just going to see more options. And I think it's going to be really, really impactful and really cool to see these new things popping up and which ones. And it gives a whole nother spectrum of things to go taste.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah, same here. And just to learn about it, too.
Yeah. So, that's kind of... I think it's A-okay to be health conscientious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We gotta poo-poo on people.
I agree.
Stop the poo-pooing just because someone wants to be healthier. Poo-poo.
All right. That's it for our main feature. It's time for some beer facts.
Closing out the main feature.
Sips of wisdom.
Sips of wisdom and beer facts coming in hot.
Yeah.
Totoro.
We're doing it all together today. Oh. You don't know this, but We're doing this together. We're doing the pairing together. It's going to be a beautiful, magical thing.
Oh, fun. Good.
Yay.
Yeah, you're right. I was building a bar, so I didn't get it read last
That's okay. That's okay.
This week was okay. There was enough happening.
Yeah.
You allowed it. You gave me some slack on it this week.
Well, I appreciate it. I was also sick, so very...
Yeah,
now,
well,
I was sick, so very
I
behind.
was
But
sick
anyway,
before. Brutal.
let's do it.
So yeah, sips of wisdom to share with you all. It's my absolute favorite part because these are the conversation pieces I love to elaborate on. And they can last a shift or a lifetime. That was very heartwarming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All by myself.
But in all reality, these are like the fun things that I think, like, as a bartender, you kind of just run out of shit to talk with people about.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, you can get your information from us. So, as no surprise, we're still talking about NA beers.
What's the history behind these NA beers? When did they start?
The medieval times.
The medieval times, you say?
Yar.
Yar.
Wish I had that pirate suit still. I would have put that on.
Unfortunately, we are back side by side, so less fun animations.
Well, the lighting's really good, though.
Thank you.
All right. Remember those small beers? Those were the go-to over the unsafe drinking water at the time.
Yep.
Drink or die, they said. I don't know. They might have.
They might have, probably. Kind of. And then came the Prohibition. The real game changers. Breweries had to get creative with their near beers, so under the 0.5 alcohol. Talk about I can't even say it. Ingenuity. Talk about ingenuity in tough times. And if you don't remember, we're talking about all of the if you don't remember, we've talked about this a couple times. Oh, I really struggled with that one. All right. They're very, very creative during this time. And we've talked about it a handful of times. There's a lot of interesting stories that came out of Prohibition. Near beers are in there. Do we get into what they would do with near beers? Do you talk about that?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Fun fact about near
Fun
beers.
fact on top of fun fact.
Here's a fun fact ice cream sandwich. During the Prohibition, they would sell near beer right next to the yeast in the malt syrup and have labels that were like, hey, don't mix these three things together and put them in a dark room sealed because it will create beer.
Oh.
Oops.
I guess maybe we kind of get into that. That was well presented.
Thank you.
I liked that a lot.
It's like a cake in a box, but a beer in a...
What's in the box?
Beer in a pancake. What's in the box?
All right. Fast forward to today, and the quality of NA beers is mind-blowing. Really. Cannot say it enough. This is absolutely delicious. Even over the past decade or so, thanks to tech like reverse osmosis and vacuum distillation, they're giving alcoholic beers a run for their money, for sure. They're even combating foodborne pathogens like E. coli and salmonella because, there's no alcohol to kill them. But they're figuring that out. It's come a very long way.
Cool. Yeah, that's kind of I remember we did a story on it, that not having it canned or bottled, they're really struggling with kegging it. And I've heard of more places kegging, putting on a draft line, but did you fart?
No, I was looking for my dog.
No. And I haven't actually heard how they're like pushing it through with that. I don't know if they're just like really limiting the amount of time they can stay on draft or what, but I don't actually know that part.
Great Divide, I believe their NA that they're offering is called Ronin. Okay. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe we can make our way over there.
Go talk with them. That'd be good.
Maybe they'd show us.
Yes, give us some insight.
That'd be cool.
So do you know who the first person that invented NA beer is?
I hear it's up in the air.
It is a bit of a mystery. You are correct. This is a mystery fact, not a fun fact. But some people question, was it medieval monks? Was it Prohibition era brewers? Jury's still out. Nobody really knows. So there's a mystery fact.
All right, I like that. Prohibition even had its conspiracy theories, from what I'm told, with rumors of breweries secretly making full-strength beers disguised as NA. How scandalous.
How scandalous of them.
Also not surprised. Yeah.
If you can't have at least a beer. Oof. Yeah, some beers.
Drink or die,
Let's not forget Dry January is the coined term in the UK. In 2013 is when they coined that sucker as a public health campaign. It's not just a health trend, it's changing the brewing industry and even our wallets.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that, didn't we?
We did. But I didn't know it started in 2013. That is new.
That's right.
New for me.
Totally.
Totes.
And taking a break from alcohol can definitely have its lasting impacts on drinking habits, right? That's the goal, or it's not. That's a lot of the goal. But that's what research suggests. I also feel like that's a kind of an obvious one.
Yeah, fair. It's a journey from necessity to innovation. Big players like Heineken and AB InBev are heavily invested in the NA market. Even Diageo's, known for brands like Guinness and Smirnoff, are getting into the NA spirits. Really want to get into that, like Guinness. The Smirnoff one I can probably live without.
I want a bottle of sugar.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Well, it's known as Pedialyte, but with bubbles.
Sugar.
But yeah, I really want to try the Guinness one.
Yeah, me too. And you brought this up earlier on the craft side. There's Athletic Brewing Company is reshaping the craft beer NA scene in the U.S. And even Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are shaking up the NA scene as well. We thank Ryan for Deadpool, Aviation Gin, and now Moderation.
Oh,
thank you, good sir.
Is it going to make a NA Aviation?
No.
N-Aviation?
It's called...
Get it? N-Aviation?
Actually, I really like that.
You're welcome. I would like $1 for that name. That's autographed.
At Mr. Reynolds.
At Mr. Reynolds.
Not Reynolds Cling Wrap. Ryan Reynolds. They could get confused.
Could be confusing.
It's called Betty Buzz. It's more like a mocktail. Yeah, it's Blake's thing. It's like a family recipe of ginger beer and...
I do remember that.
Different flavors.
That was a while ago. I remember reading about that.
Mm-hmm. They're delicious.
Yeah. Not just celebrities, venture capital firms are betting big on the NA and wellness beverage startups. The whole sector is buzzing without the hangover.
That's right. I like that. Brewdog's even in on it.
Brewdog?
I think they're even
Has that
doing...
opened yet?
The NA?
The Brewdog down in Denver.
I don't know.
I'm going to go check it out. We have to wait a month.
No, they have NA options.
Okay, good.
I think they've been doing like a Beer of the Month club with the NA options. I hadn't totally looked further into it, but it's definitely worth checking out. Okay. Worth watching.
Those are good. Good fun facts about the NA world.
We do our best.
That's
what we got.
So yeah, if anyone has any other good ones, let us know and let us know what your favorite is. Especially if it's from a little local brewery. Give them a shout out and
get
them some exposure. Why not? Give them a shout out for caring about your liver.
Also, turmeric is really good for your liver.
Turmeric. Why isn't there a turmeric NA? I think it's called kombucha. But why isn't there a turmeric NA beer?
Again, I think it's probably just called kombucha.
Okay, fine. Right. Brews and bites. Since we don't have our normal boozy bites to pair with the brews beverages to pair with your bites,
we're not gonna totally leave it out.
Okay, good. We're going damp on this meal.
Yes, not full wet.
Just damp.
Just damp. All right. We're always excited for the eats and drinks of the brews and bites. It's going to be a good one. And that's because it's near and dear to us. We love to eat and drink.
My near and dear is just what we like to do.
What are they doing? They're probably eating.
Eating and drinking. Odds are high.
Yeah. Or playing volleyball.
Yeah.
This week we're going to take you on drinking. We're taking you on an extension to our sensory journey of pairing. We're going to mix it up a little bit. We hope that you maintain what you've learned over the last few episodes when it comes to the 101 of beer and food pairing, and making you step your game up a notch, right?
We're piling it on.
Take what you learned, and we're going to take it a little further, a little where else.
You don't know it, but we're teaching you some knowledge, and they're building on itself. You just don't know it yet.
We're not just here for good looks and laughs, people.
And drinking beer on camera.
We very much lean on the lean side being a lean, mean, fighting machine.
Ooh.
So we want to focus specifically on hops for pairing, right? We're excited about these hops.
Okay.
I think it's a great way for people to focus on the simple ingredients, break it down, what they're putting into their bodies, what they're putting into their beverages, as a means of moderation and understanding.
Cool.
All that being said, let's talk about light fares and what hops might pair well with them, right? Because we're keeping it light. We're a lean, mean, fighting machine. We're healthy.
We're healthy this month.
We're moving. Motion is the best lotion. So focusing on light fares and hot pairings is a fantastic approach for being health conscious and understanding on a different level your food and beverage choices. Hops are used in brewing for their flavor, aroma, and preservative qualities.
Cool. Yeah, makes sense.
Different hop varieties have different flavors, aromas, ranging from floral, fruity, to earthy, and bitter.
Okay.
Chelsea,
Yes.
why don't you start us out with some pairings?
Ooh, all right. Citrusy and fruity hops. Citra, Amarillo, and Mosaic. I always really want to say armadillo.
Amarillo.
I still said it wrong.
Armadillo from
I
Amarillo.
really want to say armadillo, and my brain just stops on it. So Citra,
Shit.
Amarillo, and Mosaic. Beers like APAs, IPAs, and DIPAs, double IPAs. They're going to pair really well with lighter fares such as grilled chicken, fish, light salads, and with citrus-based type of dressings to really get that complementary type of flavors going. Pairing rationale.
Yeah, you can ignore that. Just
no.
read this.
Oh, well, okay.
Not verbatim.
The bright fruity characteristics of these hops can complement the lightness of the grilled poultry or fish while accentuating the fresh flavors in the salads.
Yum.
Yeah. It's like I already said that.
Did it repeat?
I think I just kind of went on. I went
go on a
rogue and I
tangent
nailed
earlier.
it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're good at. That's why we're doing it together. We're doing it together. All right, I'm gonna take
We're
on
the best of friends, having so much fun together.
We're actually in a padded room.
Yeah.
They just let us out on our recess time.
But they gave us a bar, which was nice.
Yeah, and some beverages. All right, I'm going to take the floral and spicy hops.
Cool, I like it.
The Saz, the Fugel, the Hallertau.
Fugel.
Beers like
Fugel.
actual beers, if you're doing wet, you're doing damp, whatever you're doing in January. Beers like Pilsner's Box, English ales. Your lighter fare could be steamed or lightly sauteed vegetables, herb couscous, or lentil dishes. Yum. Chelsea doesn't like. I love them.
They just don't like me.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah.
Which means you don't like them because they don't like you. Just this ongoing thing. So the subtle floral and spicy notes of these hops are a great match for the earthy flavors of the veggies and greens, which enhances the herbal and natural taste without overwhelming them.
Cool.
It's a match made in heaven.
Cool. So look at me. Are those? They're not quite. They're complementary. Not quite contradicting, but I feel like a little bit like different than the citrus on citrus.
Yeah.
It's like the citrus on citrus is just like really building up the citrus, where I feel like that one is a bit more like balancing than like exploding of citrus.
Fair.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what all the words are.
Not as big of flavors.
Yeah, a little bit more balanced and calm. I'll jump into the piney in the resinous hops.
Crushed it.
Wow. Simcoe, Chinook, Cascade. It's going to be your American IPAs, West Coast IPAs, and your pale ales. To keep on the lighter side, because we're all healthy this month, we're gonna hit you up with some salads again. But this time we're gonna do it the spicier, kind of the bigger flavored lettuces, kale and arugula.
Nice.
I gotta get some of that avocado to get the creaminess. Well, actually, should smooth out some of that lingering bite of the hops that are going on.
Sure.
And then you dish with pesto.
Yeah.
Pesto's great. So you can get some pasta action going on in there, and they should just pop out together. The bold pine-like quality of these hops can stand up to the strong flavors of the darker greens.
You said it.
Rich ingredients like avocado, balancing dishes' richness with their pronounced flavor profile.
And earthy and woody hops. How about that? So examples are East Kent Goldings, Willamette. If you know what we're talking about here. These beers like bitters, porters, and stouts.
Cool. All right.
Keeping on that lighter trend, mushroom dishes, roasted root vegetables, and nutty grain bowls. Yum and delicious. So the earthiness of these hops, it's going to pair well with the umami flavors in the mushrooms and the natural grounding flavors of the root vegetables and grains.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
Might go for that for tonight. That sounds lovely. And look at the herbal and the grassy hops. I don't know how to say it.
I think it's Tetnang.
Tetnang. Noble varieties, beers like German and Czech styles, lagers, kolsches, Munich helles. They're going to pair it with soups, green salads, dishes with fresh herbs, especially like herbal soups, right? You're going to get all those big herbal flavors.
Heck yeah.
The heat and everything is going to give you that nice cooling, refresh your palate off of those. The grassy notes are going to complement the greens and the herbal flavors you're going with. And it's just going to elevate the dish overall, right? You're going to really, because it's lighter, it's not going to bog it down. It's not going to necessarily, it's almost like a palate cleanser that complements versus like the stouts that are going to kind of probably be what you finish your flavor with.
Absolutely.
This is going to pop it right out.
And waft. Why did we give you all these options? Because there's a lot of options out there. That's the whole point of this episode, right? That it has come so far and given us so many options.
Full circle.
So, you want to drink a beer? Please drink a beer. We would love for you to drink beer. We're going to drink beer. Again, it's not called Body by Beer for nothing.
Truth.
But also, if you want to look at what you're putting into your body from a, ingredient perspective, this is how you can break it down, right? You can get this off the transcript, you can look it up, and then stick with some lighter fares after the holidays, right? Mm-hmm. We can all kind of reel it in a little bit. If not, that's fine too.
Kick that sweet tooth.
Yeah, right? Kick that sweet tooth is exactly it. I mean, these are going to pair with a lot of really good meals.
Yeah, I love it. I think that was a really, really good way to do it. Lots of recipe options out there to pair in with something like that. And let us know what you do and which pairing was your favorite.
That'd be cool to hear. If anybody did any of the pairings, it'd be really cool to hear.
It'd be great to hear.
Yeah. All right. We appreciate you tuning in to the Brews and Bites today. Super happy you enjoyed it.
Happy you enjoy it. Hopefully this helps you kind of combine your wellness goals and your dry or dampness goals of the month into a flavorful, lovely couple weeks for you.
I don't even know. Try to keep a serious face through all that. Dry, damp, or wet January.
Thank you for joining this week and supporting us week after week.
It's been a fun one.
Forever, we are so appreciative of everybody and having people come up and talk about how much they love it. Makes our day. If you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you do anywhere you get your podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or Apple. And we're on all the social medias at Body by Beer Podcast, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Insta, all of the things. There's a lot of us around. We're everywhere right now.
Trying to do what we're trying to do. Cheers to making some great memories with us. That was a super fun episode this week. Make sure to join us next week on the Body by Beer podcast for another Sipisode full of insights and fun. We'll continue to explore some fascinating tales from around the world of beer and from with our own little environment here.
Love you. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Cheers.
Bye.